everything on YouTube. I'm going to say hi to some people in the chat that were here a little early. David Soffin, Campbell's Collecting, Pop in Hand, hello Justin, and there's Sindin, YoJ Collects, Jeremy Knapp. Let's see, we've got Ness and Popsplosion, JJ Gloucester, Just Call Me D, hello. Just saying hi to everyone. Yeah, I probably haven't put out a video in almost a month now. I've just kind of slowed down on mystery boxes, but I just kind of wanted to, bring there was a special opportunity that came up with bringing on Logan from Whatnot. So I know a lot of you are curious about Whatnot. Some of you may not have heard of Whatnot. Some of you may be new subscribers today. So welcome if you are. But I just wanted to take the opportunity to share Whatnot with you and bring on basically the creator of the app, one of the founders of the app too. So Logan is traveling, but he's doing his best to be able to meet up with us today and talk about this. So I'm going to go ahead and bring him in right now. So I'm going to add Logan. And there is Logan. So
hey everyone. Awesome to meet you all. And hey, thanks Curtis. Really appreciate you having me on. I'm really excited to talk about Whatnot. So
yeah, no problem. So you're traveling right now for the app, right? Are you doing for
work?
Yeah,
I've been traveling actually a lot. So I think maybe I should give you guys some context into how we got started and how it got to the point it is today. So I'm a software developer. I've been a software developer for over 9 years. And most recently, the last job I worked at was a company called Goat. Goat is a sneaker reselling app, and they kind of provide a lot of the same value that Whatnot does. So sneakers are, like, especially the high value ones, are highly counterfeited, and there's a lot of knockoffs in the marketplace. And so there was a few companies that came out to sort of prevent that problem, which is more or less acting like a middleman. So a seller would list a shoe, and then a buyer would buy it, and then that seller would ship it to this place to get authenticated. If it was authenticated, then it would go off to the buyer. And that was wildly successful. And so there's two major players that do that, one being StockX and Goat. And so the company I worked at was called Goat. And so I helped build a lot of their software. And during that time, or sorry, not just at Goat, I also worked for another company before that called Flight Club. You may have heard of it. Both similar concepts, but during that time, I started actually collecting Funkos. They were appearing on my coworkers' desks. And I had another friend who didn't work with me at Goat. We're very close friends, and he is the other co-founder. His name is Grant. And we always wanted to start something together. And so him and I were actually buying a lot of Funkos, on eBay and Mercari, and we ran into a lot of the same issues that people do in the sneaker space. And so we said, well, it seems like apps like StockX really underserve collectors. How can we build an app for you guys that really sort of ensure that there's safety and security? Because it doesn't just go on the buying side, it goes on the selling side too. Both sides can get, screwed over. Like if you're a seller, you send it to the buyer, maybe the buyer says you didn't send them what you actually sent, right? And so there's a huge problem with that. And I think the first thing I bought, like, there was a sticker swap. Oh. It pissed me off. So fast forward 2 years later, Grant and I, one of my very close friends, we're best friends. We're like, we want to do something. And so we kind of came together and like, what should we do? We both want to leave our jobs. At the time, he was working for Facebook. And so we're like, let's work on this app together. And so I built it in probably about 2 months. And also working with another close friend who helped us with the app. His name's Gustavo. And we were able to get a very basic prototype out in 2 months. And I think if you guys ever saw it in November, it was at its very infinite stage. And during that time, we worked with a few people who had a lot of inventory. And so what they would do is they gave us like a CSV of all their inventory and the price that they wanted to list it for. So there was no like real way of actually listing a product like you can do on the app today. So we're very infinite. And so what we did is we wanted to say, okay, well, are people going to react to this? Like, do people want this? And we put a couple Facebook ads out just to see if people would respond to it, right? I think we spent maybe $100 on advertising, and people did. It was kind of shocking. And during that time, Grant and I both left our jobs. We put in notice, and we're like,
Wow.
okay, well, you know what? Let's use our savings that we've saved up and try to launch this thing and make it something that people want. And during that time, we got accepted into an accelerator program called Y Combinator. You guys probably don't know much about Y Combinator. It's a big thing in the tech community. It's helped launch several different startups, such as like Airbnb, Dropbox. It's a very good thing to get into as a startup. We consider ourselves a startup. And we got accepted into the program, which requires us to move to Mountain View for 3 months.
Okay.
We're based in Marina Del Rey. However, we're back and forth between Marina Del Rey and Mountain View. So we started the program in January, and really like the core values of the program is talk to your users. Like that's how I reached out to you, and build something that people want. And so really we're trying to listen to you guys and build the ultimate product for you guys, not just ourselves. And so Kurt, that's how we got connected, because I reached out to you. I noticed you made your first sale, and then it led into this. And so this is very helpful for us because we want to build the best thing possible for you guys. And that's what we're aiming to do. So that's how we got started. And this is about 6 months later.
Right. That's a pretty that's a lot for a 6-month time period. I mean, if you think about it, that's a lot of activity in a 6-month period. But we're
also a team of 7 now.
So you're up to 7? Because I saw 4 names listed on the website, and so I don't know.
There's 3 other people who aren't listed yet, but we're a team of 7 now.
Nice.
So,
that's good. It seems like it's kind of starting to gain traction, and I know I have enjoyed my experience selling on Whatnot. I've sold, I think, 3 or 4 pops on there now.
Really? That's awesome. I think the first one you sold is a personal grail of mine. I think it was a Tony and the Tiger, right? I love that one, but I think that's also why I reached out to you. I was like, I love this, and you packaged it so well too. And that's another thing, is a lot of sellers too, they don't know how to package it. They don't know what it's going to come on the other end. And so super impressed by that.
Well, thank you. I try to package pops like I sell the way that I would want to receive them. But no, it was really kind of cool how, you reached out to me, I think via email, and then that turned into a phone call. And then I told you about what I do here on YouTube. And then the idea of the live stream came up to try to get some exposure to the app, because I know you guys are trying to, get some traction and get going. So, I think it's mutually beneficial for both of us to kind of, and also a lot of people
100%.
A lot of people know that I have actually sold things on your app. And so, in fact, just yesterday, I was getting questions, like I was telling you earlier, from some people about the legitimacy of Whatnot. And I'm like, yeah, I've sold things. I've gotten paid. I'm not. And I did look at the FAQ on the website, and, you kind of list out the points of how you check pops, if they're fakes or not. Like, the cardboard on the box, or the print, or the weight of the pop itself. There's a lot of stuff that and a lot of points and guidelines that I know that you guys use to authenticate the pops, and I think that's really cool.
In fact, so the other co-founder, Grant, he's super a nerd about this. Like, he's been buying a ton of fakes and really understands every little point of comparison to tell if it's not fake. And that's not the ultimate, that's one of the problems we're trying to solve, is, how do we get rid of the fake problem? The other is how do we create trust when you're buying and selling? Because on either end, there could be someone who says, oh, well, you swapped a sticker, but did you? Right. And so since we're there in the middle, we're kind of like an escrow service. You say, okay, well, this is legitimate. This person described the pop as it was described. It's not damaged. And then we package it very well. I think if any one of you guys have bought something from us, you'd be impressed by pops. And so, we send it to you guys, and it is as described, and we pay you out actually after we authenticate it. So we don't pay you out after the buyer receives it. We pay it out after it's authenticated, because at that point we know it's legitimate, and it's up to the seller to return it. And they have 2 days to return it. And we'll take on that risk. And if they do return it, we just relist it ourselves. Ultimately, you get paid out once we authenticate it, because there should be no dispute between you and the buyer.
Yeah, I think that's a great process. And I know you're trying to come up with kind of a more pop focused buying, selling authentic pop version of like eBay and Mercari, like we were talking about earlier. And I have to say, as a seller on there, your fees are very, very reasonable right now. So I do like that aspect of it. So I did have
Thanks.
I did have a quick question, and we will get to a Q&A. So if you guys want to come up with some questions, there will be a part of the live where Logan will take some questions. But just one, and this is one I don't know the answer to, so I'm just going to feature it. Sean there from Popsplosion TV, another YouTube channel. He's in Ireland, so he's curious if there is if it's international or just based in the United States right now.
Yeah, so that's a great question. For selling, it's only based in the US. However, buying is international. And that's a very recent thing of ours. So probably as of 2 weeks ago, we launched international shipping. And so right now, I gotta be honest, I think the international shipping costs are pretty high. What we're quoting you, what you guys see on our website is directly what we're getting from the courier. And so if you look at our Q&A or our fact page, you'll see that if you make up to, I think, 3 or 4 purchases within a 24-hour period, we'll bundle that all in one shipment and we'll refund whatever the excess shipping cost is. Because I think it's definitely a pain for international people who want 3 or 4 pops, and they have to pay individually for everything in terms of the shipping costs. However, we also plan to create a cart. So right now you can only buy 1 pop at a time.
Okay.
It's a lot of logistics for us to figure out how do we make it so you can have 3 pops and then authenticate 3 pops and then ship it onto you, right? Especially if 3 pops are coming from 3 different sellers. And so we're trying to figure out how is the best way that we can do that, because that's a major request that we've had.
Yeah. And how many people do you have like working just like, is it their main focus just to authenticate pops, or do they do other things there at Whatnot?
Yep. So right now we have 2 people, and the main focus is authenticating and shipping and packing.
Okay.
And one of them being Grant. So Grant, even though he's the CEO, the whole entire time he's authenticating and communicating with you guys if there's an issue. So if you see an issue like during the authentication process, we'll reach out to you directly, and more than likely it's going to come from Grant. So
nice. Well, that's very hands-on for the CEO of the company. Getting started.
Yeah,
really
I mean,
cool.
we're small, and I think it's important for us to be very involved in every part of our process. Especially since we're very meticulous about the authentication process. And so the person he's working with, needs to be well trained.
Definitely. And I just wanted to say, I do see a lot of comments going on in the chat, and I'm sorry, this is not kind of the usual live stream that I usually do. I don't often have, a Q&A session with a guest or just, something like this. So I'm not super paying attention to the comments yet. And I did say, we will open it up to some questions at a certain time, but I wanted to make sure that Logan wanted to say all the things about the app that he wanted to say. So I know a lot of people have been asking me questions about it. And so here's the guy to ask.
One thing I really want to emphasize is, we want to be transparent and we want to be open. And so you can always email us anything, like whether it's a feature request, whether it's a problem within the app. Like, we're here to build something for you guys. Like I said, the core principles of the program that we're going through called Y Combinator is talking to your users and building a product that people want. And that's what we're doing. So, and a lot of that comes from all of you.
Nice. And I think a lot of people may only know the app because I think you said you launched a version of it in November because of the, go ahead.
So we launched the website in November. We didn't have the app. We launched the app, I think the end of December.
Okay.
So it's also very new.
Yeah. I started getting links from friends about enter the weekly pop drop. And I think that may be one of the only things people may be familiar with when it comes to Whatnot, and may not even realize that you can buy and sell on there now. So do you want to tell us a little bit about the pop drop for those that may not have even downloaded the app yet?
So, the pop drop I think is interesting because, a lot of people give giveaways. I see it all over Instagram and Facebook groups. And so what we wanted to do is, how can we be involved in the community and also participate in giveaways? And so every week we do a giveaway, and it's of a major grail. And we only do 1 grail. So if you see it, it's 1. And I have to be honest, the drop has been increasing every week in terms of the amount of entries. However, we do plan on giving more things in the future away just because we're getting a lot of entries.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's a weekly thing. We're trying to make it so, you know, you guys can learn about us and also see the grails that
Yeah.
we're giving away. So
Do you have a rough idea, ballpark, like how many entries you get per week for the pop drop?
you can actually see it's kind of a hidden secret. There's a little fire icon, and that's how many entries there are. And
Oh, okay.
each entry is one user.
Okay.
So it's not the amount of shares, it's like per user.
Oh, that's the number of users that have entered.
Yep.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, we had one person say they just downloaded the app. So if anyone hasn't downloaded Whatnot, it is available on the iTunes store and on Google Play. And if you collapse the chat in this live stream, the links for the download is in the information below. So if you want to check that out, I've made it as easy as possible for you to go find it and check it out. So was there anything else about the app or about anything that you wanted to kind of, get out there?
Is this directly for me? So yeah, I think,
Yeah, you.
I'd love to talk about maybe what's coming up and whatnot.
Sure.
Based off of, our feedback from you guys, there's a lot of things that we needed to improve because,
Mhm.
our app is fairly new. It's just me and another developer working on it.
Right.
His name is Gustavo. I think he's in here. I saw a comment. But we're working really, really hard day in, day night to build the best thing for you. And so a few things that we've learned that we definitely need to improve is a search. So how do you discover the pops that you want?
Right.
So like right thing, we may have it, but it doesn't come up. B, we need to have every pop that exists with all the different sticker variants. So
Mhm.
you'll find some things that we don't have. And if we don't have it, please email us and we'll get that up as soon as possible.
Okay.
What's another thing that we're working on? So this weekend, we actually launched Seller Store,
Yeah.
which is pretty exciting for me because I think people want to be able to sort of showcase what they're selling on Whatnot
Mhm.
and have like one page to them. I mean, it's something that they should be proud of and saying, hey, look at it's almost like a collection, right?
Yeah.
Here's everything that I have for sale. It's on one page. You can buy directly from me because, you may know me. And so you don't have to filter through all the other sellers' listings.
Right.
Let's see, but yeah, another major improvement that I think you guys are going to really like, and we're kind of trying to work through what it looks like, but more or less improving offers because offers is at a very infinite stage right now. You can
Mhm.
place an offer by condition,
Right.
but you can't place an offer particular listing, nor can you go back and forth between the seller and the person who's creating the offer. And so what we're trying to do is make it so, let's say you list something. I can place an offer directly on that listing, and you would get notified that I placed an offer. And you can actually have the ability to accept it or counter or reject it. So you could counter and say, hey, I don't like that offer, but I would do it for, $19 versus
Mhm.
17, right?
Right.
And so I think that'll help to drive a lot of sales for sellers.
Okay.
And because, some things people may overprice or they just want to see how people respond. And so I think it's important to really create the engagement around offers for both buyers and sellers.
So I know David Soffin, who actually reached out to me, had a question about offers, and he sent me a screenshot showing that his only option was to accept the offer. Is like by clicking on the where it says accept. Is there a place where you can counter or reject, or do you just
Now,
ignore it? I mean, how
so,
does that
so,
work?
so that's what I'm saying. We're trying to improve that whole process. So right
Okay.
now, the only ability is to accept it.
Okay.
And so there's no way to counter it or
Okay.
reject it. Right now, it's going to appear there, and you might see multiple offers that appear.
Okay.
But yeah, for now, that's something we're going to be working on next week. And I think you guys
Awesome.
are all going to like the new offer experience quite a bit.
Yeah. And then we talked about when I was uploading things or photos, if I had to go back, I lost all my photos that I took and had to retake them. Was that addressed? I thought I saw something in the last update notes about that being addressed.
So no, that hasn't been addressed yet, but it
Okay.
will be a question.
Okay.
We haven't
I
gotten around
wasn't
to it.
sure if that was. Okay.
Yeah, I know
Very
it's
cool.
definitely a pain because you go through the whole process and then you find out, oh, I got to take 6 photos. And there's a reason why we make, and I didn't actually explain this. There's a reason why we make people take photos now, and
Mhm.
it's because a we want you to use your own phone's camera versus uploading something from your camera roll, because we know that you're the person taking the photo. It's kind of like an extra security measure. And number two, it's our first step in our verification process. So you'll notice that when you submit a pop, we try to review it in under a few hours. It may take longer, and I apologize, but we either accept the listing that you created. We may change the condition. So like, let's say you listed something as mint, but we look at the photos and to our standards, it seems near mint. We'll change the condition for you. Or maybe you miscategorized the pop, or maybe you uploaded a fake. We'll reject it, right? And so that's our first step of verification, you know, but photos, right? So you can't really, you see a lot in terms of photos, but the ultimate way of verification is physical verification. And so, but that is our first step.
Great. Well, I think that answers some questions about how you do that. And I am seeing a lot of questions. Do we want to jump maybe into some question and answer from the chat room just to see what people are asking, or are you okay with that?
Sure. Love it.
All right. Okay, so we have a question here, and I apologize. I'm probably not going to scroll back. So if there's a question that wasn't addressed, just ask it again and we'll try to get to that. So Justin from Pop in Hand says, so say we ship to you for $2.50. Does that mean you are eating the additional shipping cost to the buyer?
Yep. So the buyer within US, the shipping cost is $7.50. We're trying to lower that eventually, and $2.50. So on average, it actually costs $5 each way to ship a Funko. Okay. So if you ship one to us, it's probably going to cost us $5. And then if we ship one out directly to the buyer, it costs us $5. So it's really a way for us to cover both those costs. Where we make our money is off of the commission. So right now we're charging 8.5% of the sale.
Yeah. And I think that's great. I mean, I think both eBay and Mercari are 10% right now. So.
Oh, yep. Sorry, someone's at my door. Thank you. Logan, thank you. All right.
Anything can happen during the live stream, right?
Yeah, but that's a good question. So.
Okay. I had another question on fees. Do you plan to keep the fees where they are now? Sorry if this was addressed earlier.
You know, we're always trying to lower fees. I can't guarantee that at the moment. You know, right now, to be honest, our margins are pretty low, especially for the lower price pops. And so, you know, things could be restructured, but I don't see those fees changing in the meantime.
Right. And we did, Matthew, we did touch on this earlier, and it is on the FAQ of the website about how the authentication process works. But there's several things that the team looks at.
Matthew actually put something out. He says, "Do you have your own database?" And actually, that's a really good question. We do have our own database. So for every pop that we get, we make meticulous notes about everything. And so our database is actually growing in terms of how to identify a fake, and things like that. So
cool. Let's see. So JJ asks about the graph feature. I love the graph that shows the value of the pop. Can you add a feature that allows you to click on the graph to see the value of a pop for a certain date? I guess he means at a certain point in time.
Yeah, of course. I would love to do that. And you know, that's a great feature request. And you know, we actually haven't had a lot of people talk about the graph, and I find that interesting because to me, I think it's pretty important to see what the sales are over time.
Yeah.
And to be fully transparent, that graph, the majority of the sales are a mixture of two things: eBay sales and our sales. Eventually, we want to get all the different marketplace sales in that graph, because I think it's important for people to see how people are pricing across all these different marketplaces.
Right.
And so one thing we really, really want to do is get a really good estimated value. So you might go to our page and you'll see, hey, this pop is, you know, estimated between this price and this price, right? And that's factoring in all conditions. So probably on the lower end, it's for a pop that's damaged, and then on the higher end, it's for a pop that's mint. You'll notice that other places that, you know, provide value, like PPG, the PPG value I think is completely misleading, because the price that they're is for things of all conditions. So people think that, oh, well, the PPG value is $60, but why is it listed for 90? And really 90 could be mint, right? But the $60 is factoring in all these different pops that are being sold across different conditions. And I think it's really important by condition to have a good value. So that's something that we want to work on.
For sure. I had a question I was just going to ask you, and like not really related to the app, but more of like you said you're a pop collector, right? I was just curious what kind of pops you like to collect, or maybe what your first pop was that got you into collecting.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I really love the ad icons. Anything that actually has something that I can easily relate to, something that gives me like a flashback from a childhood memory.
Okay.
That's actually how I really got into it. Like I looked at a pop and I was like, wow, like this brings me back memories as a kid eating cereal. So the first pop I ever bought was the Lucky the Leprechaun glow in the dark.
Nice.
I think it's worth around like 80 or 90 bucks now. I'm never going to sell that, by the way. So,
okay.
but I primarily just, I primarily just collect ad icons and things that I see that I can relate to. So whether it's a movie, whether it's a cartoon, I won't ever buy things that are rare that I don't like. I don't care what the value is or how cool it is. It's more of a personal preference for me. So
yeah, I know when I first started collecting, I was kind of buying anything and everything, and it's kind of taken me some time over the past few years to kind of hone in on what I want to collect and what I actually want to keep. So
one line that I really, really like, and I know that's how Funko originally started, was one of their first Funkos that they created was, the big boy. And the reason why that gives me a lot of, like, I've never actually eaten there, but the reason why I have a lot of, because one of my favorite movies as a kid growing up was Austin Powers. And I don't know if you remember that big boy coming up, but that's how I knew Big Boy. And so like ever since then, I've been obsessed.
Nice. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I'm a big ad icon collector too. I've done a little rearranging, but I've got a lot of the cereal monsters which are just out of frame. I'm gonna make this big just real quick. So, I mean, if you want to see that, like over here, I've got the OG Chocula, Frankenberry, Boo Berry, and some cereal monsters. And then I really like Plants vs Zombies, so I put all the Plants vs Zombies pops right there. So just to kind of give you a sense of what I collect. But I'm going to jump back in the chat room. I think someone was asking, his message got cut in half, but Brian is asking if any idea if you will jump into browsing with filters.
Yeah, so there's a hidden secret about Whatnot that you guys might not know about, because this is another thing that we're trying to improve is how do you search and filter quite easily. If you go on our desktop version versus the app, so open it up in a browser on the desktop, you can filter by the franchise, by the license, the price range. So it's kind of a hidden thing. We want to make it so it's in the app too. And just so you know, in the app, we're actually rendering the website within the app for the shopping experience. We're actually planning on making that all native. There's a little bit of a delay, and so I think that'll improve the user experience significantly when you guys are trying to browse and buy things. But yeah, filters are something that I really want to add in the app because it's been a huge request. And like I said, we're still a small person team. We're definitely going to get around to it. It's a matter of when, and hopefully soon. So, but go on our desktop site. And I think you actually will like browsing on the desktop site because you'll see the photos. And I think photos are pretty important when you're browsing, and they're much bigger. And you can also zoom in on the photos now. So if you click the photo and you want to like inspect anything, you can zoom, all the way in. So
yeah, I don't think I knew up until a few days ago after we had planned this that there was actually a website, like a desktop version. So that was kind of interesting for me to find out, because I have only
no one does.
Yeah. Well, now you do. People that are watching this can there's a desktop, it's whatnot.com, and that link's down below if you want to go click on that too. So and this is another question from Sean. He kind of alluded to this earlier, and Sean's in Ireland, but is there going to be an international version of the app, or where people outside the US can sell? I know that you said you ship to sellers who buy internationally, but
so I would love to get to international. I don't think it's something we can do immediate just because of the cost. It wouldn't make sense. So like, let's say you list a Funko and you have to ship it to the US, the cost of that is significant.
Yeah.
I think once we I think once we get enough buyers internationally, like especially in Europe, since you're in Ireland, that's something we'll definitely tackle is, lighting up selling in Europe. I think, especially for Funkos, a lot of people are underserved internationally.
Yeah, for sure.
Who love Funkos. It's really hard to buy Funkos. That's something we really, really want to get to. It's a matter of us kind of ensuring that there's enough buyers to do it.
Yeah. Even in like Canada, it's really hard for a lot of people to buy Funko Pops. So,
yep.
So, okay. So let's see. Will you add item views for sellers? I think they mean like the number of times that their pop has been viewed that's up for sale.
That's the second person who's asked me that, and I think probably, yeah. I think so. You can do that in eBay and Mercari, and people like that. They want to see if the listing that they've posted is being engaged with, and it might help them by knowing how many views that they are getting, how to price, right? Because maybe they're overpricing something and nothing's selling, and so that's definitely something in the works. We have to figure out how that would work in the UI, because unlike Mercari and eBay, the way that we structure our catalog is a lot different, right? So the first, and I think that's also what's powerful, because Mercari, you have to search endlessly to find what you're looking for. With us, you search for a product, and then you click on that product, and then you can see everything that relates to that product, right? And so we have to figure out, when you click on, one of the listings that are attached to a product, how does that show the view count? But we're getting there, so hopefully soon.
Awesome. So Corey from Completely Corey, he wants to know if custom pops are allowed for sale.
Yeah, we've had a couple people ask that.
Okay.
Yes and no. I mean, I think right now we're trying to focus mainly on, Funkos that aren't custom, but I do see us doing that eventually. I realize that probably someone would love to do that, but for now, we haven't gotten around to it. We have to figure, and also how we would authenticate that as well.
Yeah, that seems to be a loophole I see a lot on like Mercari and eBay, where someone says they have a custom or a not authentic Funko Pop, and it's just a way for them to sell like a bootleg pop. So I mean, you kind of get into that gray area. Well, I didn't say it was real, or I painted eyebrows on it or something. It's why can't I sell it on your end?
We would love to figure out a way to do that, but I think there has to be a lot more thought and investigation in how to do that to ensure that our core values are being met, which is safety and trust. And
for sure. So I'm just scrolling back to questions here. Let's see. I will point out the Noid shirt, and I talked to you about this before we started. I'm wearing this Noid shirt. Stick around, because I'm actually going to give away the Noid t-shirt and pop, the glow in the dark bundle from Target right here.
Sweet.
And I think Target still has all the sizes available. So I'll talk about that and how we're going to go about doing that here in a bit. So let me see. I think I've missed quite a bit of Let me just scroll back.
Yeah, there's a lot. I've just been looking directly at you. So
no, and that's fine. Let's see. Someone asked about the authentication process. That's in the FAQ. Let's see.
One person says, how long does it take for you to get paid on a sale? I can answer that. So once we authenticate it, we release the funds. So it's up to you to request when you want to get paid out. But what happens is you accrue a balance. So we authenticate something, and Curtis is probably very familiar with this, because and then in that balance, you have the option to release it to PayPal. So you link your PayPal account, and then you make that request, and then it takes up to 24 hours to go into your PayPal account. Probably a lot quicker than that. Usually like a few hours, because it's something that we manually do. It's pretty quick. So as soon as authentication happens, you're technically paid out.
Yeah, I think when I requested a payout, it was a couple hours, and then I had money in my account. So I did like that feature of it. And I like that it's, kind of along the lines of well, I don't want to say it's exactly like Mercari because you can actually use the funds to go ahead and turn around and shop on Mercari. Do you think that's a feature that you may add down the road?
Yes, definitely, 100%. Because we actually
Cool.
get charged for people requesting funds to PayPal, and obviously we
Oh, okay.
want to kind of create the loop. So if it's like, hey, maybe you have $100 balance and whatnot, you don't have to use a
Mhm.
credit card. Use your balance, right?
Right. Yeah, makes sense. Pop Epidemic is asking if you need people to send pictures for your database for the hard to find and rare grails that you may not have access to.
Hey, that's actually a very good question. We would love you to send us photos. Anything like if you actually reach out to me, Logan at whatnot.com, we would love that. And like I said, our
Yeah.
database is growing and we're trying to, make it very robust. And what we also do, like I mentioned earlier, is we're buying all the fakes that we see. So
Nice. That's a great question. I mean, because there's some really, really hard to find pops out there now. I mean, like what, like a 24 piece or something. It's just
yeah,
kind of it's one of those things that you never will see in real life. But let's
yeah.
see. And I asked about sellers item views. Let's see. So, what sites are you using to formulate your averages? You said it was your own sales, and was it eBay?
And eBay. Yep.
Okay, so we did.
Eventually, we want to add other things like Macari, Facebook marketplaces, but for
Here's
now, it's just eBay and our sales.
okay. Here's one I've actually been asked, and I didn't quite know the answer to this question. But is it only for just like standard 4-inch pops now, or will other Funko items be added down the road?
Great question. Right now, it is just for pops because we're trying to nail that category down, but we do eventually plan on expanding it out to other different things for
Okay,
Funkos.
all right. Someone wants to know how big your Funko Pop collection is.
It's definitely not as big as probably most of yours. Like I said, I've only been collecting probably for about 3 years.
Okay,
I probably have a few hundred Funko Pops.
that's about where I am, and I've been collecting for a few
Okay.
years too. So,
and ever since starting Whatnot, I've been buying a lot more stuff. So, um,
right.
so it's definitely growing.
Have you bought things that people have put up for sale? I mean, do you buy
I
directly from
have.
the app? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All
Of
right.
course, I'm not buying on eBay or Mercari anymore. Anything that I
Oh,
buy now is on Whatnot.
no, if you're trying to put yourself out of business, go ahead and buy from other sites.
But no, actually, yeah. But that's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's on Whatnot.
So this may be along the line of the question about customs, but someone was asking if there'll be a for signed Funko Pops any sale.
Great question. Grant and I were actually talking about this the other day of like how can we authenticate signed Funko Pops? And short and quick answer is we don't have a solution to that at the moment. And so eventually that is something we want to get to. Since we're small, we have to start small. And eventually we can maybe get into that.
Yeah. Someone else was asking about authenticating or researching autographed pops that come in, but I mean, if you don't really accept those right now, I guess that would be kind of a moot point. But
Yeah.
and people are asking about from shipping, how long does it take to get paid? But we already covered that. Let's see other Funko items.
Someone asked if are we going to sell some out of the box pops too?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if people are missing the box, eventually we do want to get there. Right now, the only thing you can list is a Funko that does have a block. We will include a way where you can sell your loose Funkos without a box. But our conditions that we do allow that include boxes are damaged good, near mint and mint. And in terms of what that means, you can look at our fact page.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think I caught up with most of the questions on things that weren't covered. So if anyone else has anything they want to ask, now would be the time to get that in. And I think while people are thinking about that, I did want to share a purchase I bought from a friend of mine recently, kind of a grailish pop for me. And then you actually sent me something to unbox, and I
Oh,
want to
cool.
share
I
that
didn't know
with
you were going
everyone
to
as
unbox
well.
it. I didn't know you were going to unbox on your channel, but yeah, go for it.
Are you okay if I do that? I mean, I can do it
Yeah,
off
go for
camera.
it.
Okay, cool.
Actually, I think it would be cool because everyone can see how we actually package our pops, which I think people would be impressed with. It's not just specific to you. So
because I've only ever sold, I've never actually bought anything from you, but I guess technically I do have something from Whatnot now, and I can see firsthand how it's packaged. So I didn't connect those dots. So I'm gonna just real quick explain about. I'm gonna do this giveaway, and then while I'm unboxing stuff, you guys can go enter to win. This is just a sample. This is the shirt I'm wearing right now for the Target exclusive glow in the dark Noid. I love this packaging because it looks like two pizzas stacked on top of each other. And then inside, it actually has like, oh, this is where the shirt was here, and then it's got like this slot just for the pop.
okay.
And then here's the pop right there. The glow on it is pretty weak. I held like a UV light up to it for like 30 seconds, and it was just kind of like, kind of glowing. It was really kind of sad, but I didn't have the common Noid anymore, so I was kind of happy to pick this up, even if it has a glow in the dark sticker on it, but you really can't tell when it's glowing. But I did want to give that away. So if you look in the video description down below, there's a link. I believe I called it like super mega special YouTube link. It's one of my videos, and for full transparency, I wanted to do an Instagram giveaway from the Whatnot Instagram account, but I could not figure out how to do that without not being the owner of the Whatnot Instagram page, which I'm not. So I just figured I'd use one of my old videos, or it was actually a more recent video, but it has like very low views. So if you look down below, and maybe one of the some of the moderators can go into the description and copy and paste the link into the chat. It's a video. It's my last Zanini box video, which I don't know if you have heard of Zanini box, Logan, but it's an enamel pin subscription service.
Okay.
So the owner of Zanini actually sends me pins to open on my channel, and I share them, and then I have a promo code and all that stuff. So those videos don't seem to be as popular as like the unboxing videos and mystery boxes and stuff, but I just want to kind of get some exposure to those videos as well. But so the video down below, I believe, is for the February Zanini box, and I'll try to go find that myself here too, in case. So give me just a second here while I go find that. And it's probably going to start playing. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Someone says, "Is Whatnot hiring?" I think I'll answer that while you're searching that. So at the moment, we're a team of 7, and we're growing pretty fast. And so I would say yes, not at the moment, but we will be probably hiring very quick, very soon, more positions. So
I was going to ask you that myself. So I see David has put David Soffin has put the link to the video. You'll need to leave a comment on. Make sure to include the hashtag Whatnot. So hashtag Whatnot needs to be on that comment, and I am leaving it in there now. So we'll give people a few minutes so they can go enter that. And again, it's going to be the Target exclusive T-shirt, Domino's Noid T-shirt, and pop bundle. Since all the sizes still appear to be available on the website, I'll have the winner reach out to me, and I'll just probably have it shipped directly to you from Target, depending on what size you need. So, so we'll do that. Yeah, we'll intern for Grails. Someone's, I think I might intern for Grails, but so yeah, while people are going to go enter, I will share. This is something that one of my friends, who I believe was in the chat earlier, I'm not sure if he's working today or still around, but Funkaholic Josh, I bought this from him because he pulled it out of a mystery box, and he said, "Do you want this?" And I said, "Yes, I do." So I sent him some money, and he sent it to me. So I just thought I would share that. And I have a mini note in here. It says, so I'll read this real quick from Josh. It says, "Curtis, mini note. As soon as I unbox this, I knew you would want it. It's going to have a good spot in your collection. P.S. Don't have anything, Josh. Oh, don't have anything else to say. Just wanted to fill the sheet." Josh. And it's like a tiny little, and he even kind of laminated it with tape for some reason, but I can keep it forever. So I will share with you what I got. And he's got this packed with a ton of big bubbles. Where's this tape? So this is a line I've been trying to fill in, but at this point it's higher end, very expensive pieces. But Josh got this, made me a good deal on it, and it's the glow-in-the-dark Psycho Shriner.
Oh, that's awesome.
500 piece exclusive from the Funko HQ, which I have, I think, one of the other Psycho Shriners. But yeah, I'm a big spastic plastic collector. Because of the format, you can't see, but just out of frame here, I've got like 2 shelves full of spastic plastic. This is one I've had my eye on for a while, but the prices were ridiculous on Mercari. People were asking way above, and it's got just a little damage on the back. So Josh cut me a good deal. So thank you, Josh, for this. I have a spot on the shelf open and ready to take that. Let's see. So we'll maybe answer a question before I go on to what you sent me, Logan. If you buy a mint pop, the pictures look good, but when it gets to you guys, it's not mint. Do you cancel the sale?
Yeah, I actually didn't really touch on that. So that's a really, if a seller lists something that's mint, first of all, we do an approval process. So they list, something, and they have to take photos. This is a fairly new feature. So you'll see that some of the things we have for sale have 6 photos, and some of them are the stock image, just because we just launched the app. So that's the first check. But like, let's say that the seller sends it to us and it doesn't match, the mint pop. So what happens is we actually cancel the sale. You get the refund. It takes probably about 3 to 4 days to show back up on your credit card as a buyer. And then we do send the pop back to the seller. The seller has to pay the shipping costs to get it back. But that's how it does work. So
Okay.
yeah, and it has happened actually several times. A lot of things that we're noticing is people don't know how to properly package their pops when they're sending it to us, and I think we need to do a better job. Especially, that's why we're small and we're not letting a lot of people off the wait list. Is we need to do a better job of explaining like how to pack your pops the right way when sending it to us, because there could be damage that happens along the way, and it can turn from mint to damaged. So
mint or near mint or good, not mint anymore. Yeah.
Exactly.
And then you're losing value, and you kind of did it to yourself at that point for not packing properly. But yeah, I am curious to see how you package. So I think we'll jump into what you sent me. So Logan offered to send me something just to unbox here on the channel. I guess he didn't know I was going to do it during the live, but I've been holding on to this for it. And I have no idea what this is, so I'm just going to open it. So be like a mystery box to me. So, which I do. I used to do more of those, but I've kind of slowed down on the mystery boxes. But let's see what's in here, and I have no idea. So I've got. There's a card that comes with it. It says from Whatnot. And there's a note on the back: your purchase has been authenticated by a Whatnot expert. And then thanks for being #Team Whatnot. Share a photo of your Funkos and tag @RealWhatnot on Instagram or Twitter for free shipping on your next order. That's cool. If you ever have concerns, questions or feedback, so support @whatnot.com if there's any questions. And you gave your personal email address if anyone here in the live.
It's just my first name @whatnot.com. Feel free to email me anytime.
Yeah. Logan @whatnot.com, and there's sticker. We love our stickers here in the
Yeah,
YouTube community. So one thing people don't really like is packing peanuts, but I don't mind them. But I know there's a lot of people out there that I'm like, oh, peanuts.
People hate it, but they don't know how good it is for protecting the pop when you're shipping. So
I imagine it's the safest way to ship something. So I'm going to dump these in this box, this empty box. So if you buy from Whatnot, you will get peanuts. I don't want that to be
you
a
will get
detractor,
peanuts every time.
You will get peanuts. People are like, I'm uninstalling this. I don't want peanuts. And it isn't a protector, and I'm not looking yet because this is how I do it in my videos. Let's see if I'm an expert at feeling which way is up and forward. Oh, nice. I don't have this one.
Right. You don't have that one. Good. I was hoping.
This is
that one's awesome.
This one has been on my Mercari list for a while. There's a seller that's selling it for a ridiculous amount of money, and I'm just like, I'm not going to pay that. But I just have it on my list as.
That's awesome. Yeah, so that came from my collection, and so why not give it to you? So, but
thank you so much.
I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you didn't have it. That's why I asked what pops you liked, and I was really hoping that was the one that
Yeah. I don't have.
You didn't have.
I don't know if you can see behind me. I kind of just rearranged stuff today, but I do have. I have Muppets here, so I've got like Dr. Teeth, Swedish Chef, Flocked Animal, and Fozzie Bear.
Oh, nice.
So I'll kick the zombie. I have one of the Plants vs. Zombies, but I'll kick him out and make some room for that. So that's amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
Was not expecting that. So all right. So
someone says I have an offer on Whatnot for that pop. Hopefully it gets filled.
Nice.
And Matthew, check back next week. There should be an app update, hopefully by the end of the week, if not the following week, which is really going to improve the offer experience
for this comment. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys have been putting out a lot of updates too, I've noticed. So I mean, I really I appreciate that when app developers keep improving and making tweaks and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I've had nothing but a great experience on Whatnot so far. Even though I've yet to buy, but now I see how things are shipped, and that's shipped really well in a protector, in bubble wrap, and peanuts.
Yeah, it's like 5 different layers.
Right. Just need another box in a box.
And that's how it's shipped for every Funko. And then if you buy a higher price Funko, like a Grail, it always comes in a hard protector. So,
nice.
But everything do come in protectors regardless, and they're always packaged the same regardless of the price of the.
Cool. Very cool. Let's see. Do you ship to Australia? We answered that question. You do ship internationally, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And right now, I believe PayPal is the only way to get paid out.
It is. We're going to actually work pretty soon because a few people have asked us of other ways of getting paid out, like direct deposit to your bank account. So that is something that we're trying to work on. It's more of a matter of what we can prioritize given how small we are. But I do see us in maybe the next couple months supporting like ACH payouts.
Cool. And someone is asking if there's a reward program for sellers.
That's actually something we're trying to possibly spin up. Grant and I are trying to think of some really cool ideas around it. Okay. So eventually, yes, there will be.
All right. Well, if everyone's gotten their comments in on that video and left the hashtag whatnot, I'm probably going to close this down in like another minute or two. Jeremy, he's downloading the app as we speak. So there's another new user.
Awesome, Jeremy. Enjoy.
Let's see. So
what positions or what not hiring for? Oh yeah, so we're not hiring at the moment, but we probably will in the next month or two. When we do, it'll be posted on our website.
Cool. So keep an eye on on whatnot.com. I'm not sure if we touched on this. If we sold an item when we ship it to have it authenticated, do we ship with a protector? I know you are asking to ship carefully, but is like a soft protector required or just a lot of cushioning?
So it's not necessarily required. We would like it. So, I mean, ideally, if you wrap it in bubble wrap, and put it in packing peanuts, that's even better. If you actually go on our FAQ page, it'll tell how we would
Yeah.
prefer you to ship it.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily required.
Yeah, a lot of these questions I'm seeing, there's some I'm not kind of touching on because I know they're in the FAQ on the website. So be sure to go to whatnot.com, download the app, and check it out. And yes, Canada, ship to Canada. We ship internationally. That was covered. Oh, this is an interesting question. Are the prices in US dollars only for international?
Great question. Yeah, unfortunately they are. We want to do the conversion in terms of what USD is to like Canadian dollars. Haven't gotten around to it. Eventually, we will definitely internationalize the site.
Cool.
And also localize the site. It's just a bit of time. So one thing about our site that you guys might not know is it's all custom built. So we're not using things like Shopify or Magento. It's all built from scratch. So we don't have the cool things that come out of the box that other platforms do. And so we're working on it. And the reason we don't have that is because the way that our software operates is specific to this, which is buying and selling Funkos, and we're in the middle of authenticating. And so there's a lot of logistics into the software to make that work. And so hopefully soon we'll get internationalization and localization working.
Yeah, keep in mind, guys, I mean, this is a relatively new app. They're always adding new features, making updates and improvements. So, and like Logan said, reach out to him directly at his email address if you have a suggestion, or, go visit the website and be sure to look at the FAQ to make sure that it doesn't already exist somewhere. Like you said, the desktop version is a little more robust than the app right now.
Yeah, I would say so. Especially if you're trying to buy, it's just a great experience for buying, because as I mentioned earlier, you get a really nice size photo as you're browsing.
Yeah.
And to me, I think that's important when you're buying.
For sure, definitely. You can kind of look. I mean, if you're super nitpicky about there's a tiny little wrinkle on that corner, which some people are like that, but and that's fine. Collectors collect how they want to collect. So, all right. So I'm going to let's see if I can bring in. I'm not sure how to do. Oh, here we go. Let's make us this size, and then we'll share my screen. Let's do a Chrome tab and the comment picker. So you guys should be seeing, I believe, the comment picker. Can you see that? Can you see that, Logan?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, cool. So because I can't see us anymore, I just want to make sure that.
Yeah, no problem. I can see you. So.
Okay, cool. So I've got the link for the video here, filtering duplicate users, and I did require that it have the hashtag whatnot. So it is going to filter. I hope you spelled whatnot correctly in the comments. So 26 unique comments. And again, this is for the Target exclusive glow-in-the-dark Noid with the t-shirt. Whoever wins can reach out to me. I believe your size choices are small, medium, large, extra large, and 2X. I'm not 100% sure, but I think Target still had stock on everything on this that came out about a week ago. So just make sure. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the winner. And here we go.
Oh, this is fun.
Jeremy Warden.
Nice.
That box with the Noid would look a lot better with pizza, hashtag whatnot. So congratulations. And I agree with you. It should have come with pizza. So we know Jeremy is in here because he's been asking questions. So let's stop sharing that and we'll get back to us. So congrats, Jeremy. Reach out to me on Instagram and I'll get that we'll get that sent to you. So oh, my dog is barking. So
awesome. What kind of dog do you have?
He's half corgi, half cattle dog. So
I have a cattle dog myself.
Oh, nice.
Border collie.
Yeah.
He's like a border collie healer mix. So.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I think the neighbor. It's a kind of a nice day. It's like, I don't know, 75 degrees here today. So
yeah,
people are out being active and making noise in their yards across the street. So, so was there anything else that you wanted to tell people about Whatnot or upcoming features or anything like that?
I think I think that's it. I really appreciate everyone participating, and it really means a lot how much interest there is in Whatnot. It's what gets the whole team up every day. Like, we're really excited about this, and everyone here, you guys all make our day. So I really appreciate the feedback and the support, and we're going to continue to build the best thing for you guys, and we're always going to listen to you. So I'm excited to show you guys what's coming up.
Cool. Jeremy, yeah, we'll talk on, send me a message on Instagram and we'll work that out. Okay. He wanted to gift his prize to someone else, so we'll work that out after we're done. So yeah, Mark, you just invited me to be a seller on Whatnot, and we talked about this. There is no way to add photos that have already been taken. You talked about that being an additional layer of security.
I realize, and another thing is a lot of people don't have the best camera photo taking phone, but we're really keen on security, and so I know that some people want to use like things that are in their camera roll because it might be a higher quality photo, but we need to ensure that you're the person taking the photo.
Yeah,
and that's the reason for it. So
yeah, so Mark, Logan did answer that question about your photos. So there we go.
And congrats for getting off the wait list.
Yeah.
we hope to get more people off the wait list.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I know you're just trying to work the bugs out. So yeah, thanks, like Ness is saying, thanks for taking time to come answer questions and explain the app. I appreciate that. I know a lot of people that have been asking me questions about the app appreciate that. Getting it right from the source, right from the app creator. So do you have any other app ideas right now? I mean, I know we're talking about Whatnot, but I know that developers like to make other apps. Do you have any ideas?
I love making. Actually, that was the first app I ever made. Okay. My background, I think I explained this at the beginning, of software. So I built a lot of web applications, backend systems. So it was really fun to build that app because it was like the first time I built an app for Android and iOS. Actually, no, I lie. I built a point of sale system for a company that was using an iPad. So it was a custom point of sale system, I guess similar. But I don't think so. My main focus right now is on Whatnot. And 100% on Whatnot. Like, I'm dedicating my whole entire time to that, and I don't plan on dedicating any other time to something else. So
cool. Just was curious. Yeah. So yeah, Larry was chiming in that he likes that it adds extra security so people can't steal other pictures, like on Mercari. And
they could steal pictures on our website and put it on Mercari or eBay. So
well, there you go. You're giving people ideas there for selling on Mercari and eBay. So someone's asking about seeing your collection. I know you said you had a few hundred, but
maybe at some point. So right now, I think I told you we're in Mountain View, which is for this accelerator called Y Combinator. You guys should all look it up. Y Combinator. It got a lot of different companies started, like Airbnb, Dropbox, really big people. And so all my stuff is actually in storage because we're here for 3 months.
Right.
And so I'll be back in Marina Del Rey. That's where we're based out of. And then hopefully getting all my stuff out of storage. So everything that I have, with the exception of the pops that we've been getting for shipping, is in storage. So I'd love to show you. Maybe we can do another live stream in Y Combinator. That's going to be probably in April when we'll go back. So,
well, hopefully I'll still be around doing videos and lives and stuff. I'm not planning on going anywhere right now. In fact, I just a couple days ago hit my 1-year anniversary here on YouTube. So while I'm talking about it, I want to thank everyone that's been like subscribing to me and following me and commenting and interacting. It's been a lot of fun. So, and I hope to continue to do it for more. So
cool. Hey, thanks, Curtis. I really appreciate having me, and thank you guys.
Yeah,
appreciate you guys coming in. So
yeah, awesome. It was great to talk to you in person. I know we had been emailing back and forth a lot this last week about doing the live and stuff, but it was nice to talk to you face to face. So, all right. Well, if no one else has any other questions, I think we will call it, and I will shut this down. So until the next video or the next live, that's it. I'll see you guys later. Thanks again, Logan.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.